So here we've got the first line of defence with the rising water, with the steps at the bottom, and then you've got where the cars are. There's a wall there, and that's the second line of defence. And then when it gets to the top of there, there's a problem.
And same over on the other side, where we're heading. So where are we going, Chris?
We're going on to Margitsziget, which is an island in the middle of the Danube, and
It's like a beautiful park.
yeah, it's a park, but it's got like sports place, it's got a running track around the edge, it's got like a strand, which is where people can go and have like baths, and it's got swimming pools and they can lay out in the sun in the summer, and it's got a hotel, and it's got
A beautiful fountain right at the entrance,
Yeah.
which might not be working right now.
People
but
can cycle around it. It's kind of got a running, instead of running track, it's got like a water football, water, what is it? Water volley.
Water polo.
Yeah, water polo type place. It's just the centre of sports and recreation and entertainment for people in Budapest. Very nice.
Unfortunately, the fountain is now turned off because it's quite cold. In the summer, these benches will be full of people sitting and enjoying the weather, but now there's just beautiful yellow and brown leaves and empty benches. So Chris was sharing with me.
Here we are in Budapest. I had a couple of days holiday at the start of the week with obviously Halloween, which was the Monday, and then Tuesday, which was like the Day of the Dead. So everyone's on the holiday for that. They go to the cemeteries and everything, and and the clocks went back, and yeah, it's been busy old time. It's darker now, like it's quite. We're walking along in a Margitsziget. This is a massive park in the centre of the Danube, believe it or not, in Budapest. So yeah, we were talking about death, and it's like it's a peculiar thing, isn't it? Because I think the whole of our lives we say to ourselves, well, what's happening after this? Like what? And as a very quite young, under 10, I was thinking to myself, well, what happens when you die then? What happens when you die? Because like you wouldn't know yourself, would you? Like you haven't, because you didn't know yourself before you came, so you're not going to know yourself after you die. And where'd you go? Sort of into some ether, just floating about as a true spirit, if you like. I'm not going to get into religion or anything like what you think afterwards, but it's very strange to think, well, who am I going to be? Like, I've got no frames of reference if I don't know who I am, and I'm kind of gone. It's like, well, even if there's another life afterwards, you still don't know necessarily that you had a previous life.
So this is this big unknown.
A big unknown, and I was thinking about.
What did you decide then?
Well, I didn't decide anything. And I kind of left it for. I must have just forgotten about it, and just. periodically it comes back, and whenever you go to a funeral, you think to yourself, oh yeah, that reminds me of this situation, like what actually happens after you pass away. And it's, none of us know, do we? No. If we did find out, we couldn't come back and tell people, because we wouldn't have
died then.
And there are people who've had near-death experiences, they've died and they come back and they say, oh no, it was great there, I didn't want to come back, and all this kind of stuff. I don't know, maybe that's a personal experience, maybe that's the experience for them, or maybe it was so powerful and it's such a tortuous thing that you kind of make up, these stories fill your head and you bring them back with you because they stick. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea.
No idea.
But I do remember quite early in my life thinking to myself, well, what happens? It was just like it was one of these big unknowns, and I couldn't resolve it, obviously, and no one can resolve it. And then you realise that's one of the big questions no one's resolved, and unlikely to. So there you go. There's a few revelations or things I considered and pondered before I got to in my teens really, and before that. Some of them have worked really well, but this one, it was like I just thought, well,
it's too big to
I'm not
solve
sure
this.
I like the idea of not knowing who I am, so I'm just going to park this for a while because I'm quite young and it hopefully won't happen for a long time. Or
I'm talking about death again, carrying on the topic. I think this must be some kind of a tribute to somebody, maybe a pet or a loved one, I don't know, but it's quite interesting. As we were traveling on the bus yesterday, we passed by a cemetery, and there were all these little candles or lanterns. Didn't quite see from the distance, but every grave had at least one. In some cases there were 2 or 3 lanterns, and the whole cemetery was alight with these glimmering, flickering flames, and it was such a warm, it left such a warm feeling in me, how people went to pay their respects to their relatives who had passed away, and in such a lovely way. And just the lights, and I don't know how these lights are going to stay on for. Hopefully a bit longer than just a day or 2. We're going there again tomorrow, and we'll see if they're still there. And by the way, this is the rose garden. Not many blooms at this time of year. It's still very peaceful and beautiful.
beautiful.
This is the outdoor theatre, Színház. Me and Hungarian are still not very good together. Theatre. So through the leaves I can just about see there's this big tower. Don't know whether you can see it. Let me see if I can move along. There's this big beautiful tower. It's a part of it. There it is. Whoa, look at that. It's so pretty. It is so pretty. So where is the theatre? Is it there, up there? Well, you go in through here, or maybe through here. don't know what that means. And some people are riding these bicycles that you can rent. Vistoroni. Oh, is that Vistoroni? What does that mean? No idea. So the stage is on the outside, on the other side of this tower. So you go in and through and around, and this is just amazing. I love this tower. Now, this dark place here is the Japanese garden. And in the summer there are turtles in this pond. But now I think they have been moved somewhere else because it's not the temperature that they particularly enjoy. All of this was green in the summer, now it's gone brown. There's a statue there. Over here is less dark because you're not under the trees. And like a rock garden. And that's the other side of the Danube. Some beautiful trees here. And look at these gorgeous colors. This is red. Don't know why the camera can't see it, but it's red. And this is red, and the camera still can't see it. It's beautiful. Is that one of these Japanese cedars or something else? I'm not sure. Let's focus on the steps now. There's a little bridge. And there was a waterfall over from that wall, wasn't there? Which now doesn't run because it's cold. Next to behind that massive fig tree. Just a few ducks still swimming in the distance. But that was, wasn't there some kind of a waterfall here?
Yeah, carp in here.
There were these red and
Ready
white.
terrapins.
Yeah, now they've gone somewhere warmer. And this is the running track. Goes all the length of the island. It's quite rubbery to walk on. Oh, I wish you could feel the cold wind. Damp and cold. Chris says he's not cold, but I am.
Go to this spa for a day or
Oh, look at this big hotel. Looks empty. but there are a lot of cars. Maybe it's not empty after all.
Quite big, so
Like a palace. Okay.
So we were just walking back past the Grand Hotel on
Yeah, the same island that we're on.
Yeah, it's about 5 kilometres all the way around walking, so it's quite a big island. But there's two places. There's thermal bars, and then there's a big hotel, traditional hotel, which has got like terrace restaurants for the summer and all this kind of stuff. So we were just musing over the idea, because it looked like not really very full. I suppose November is not a good month for tourism anyway, but because Christmas is coming and it's cold and the clocks have just gone back, and it's like it's not ideal for tourism. But I was just pondering the idea of like hotels. What the idea of a hotel when we were all travelling around on holidays and visiting weekend visits to different capital cities, and it's like the whole idea of a hotel is one of being able to visit somewhere without getting involved too much with the people of the area, whatever it happens to be, and it's like it's almost keeping people apart, or at least perpetuating the idea of people being able to visit somewhere impersonally. Whereas I guess in the past, if people went somewhere, they went, and the biggest thing was to go to visit somebody, not some place. It was I'm going to go to Scotland because
My
in
cousin
Scotland
is there.
there's this, in the old days, like with the kings and queens and lords and stuff, they go and visit, but only the rich would go. Obviously they couldn't, like normal peasants would be just staying around where they lived and they never go out of that village or town. But when it comes to aristocrats, they were going, but they weren't going because they wanted to go to York or they wanted to go to Edinburgh. There was nothing to see there except the people. People went to see people as they travelled, and
now we go to see places.
And with the less people we get involved with, kind of it's that whole impersonal. You go into your room in the hotel. Oh, thank God for that. Like put the case on the side there, and at least we're in our own little bubble here, and we don't need to get too involved until we've mustered up the courage to venture out and be amongst the locals. I know this isn't everybody, I'm not saying this applies to everybody, but the hotel industry, I'm just wondering what future there is for it. There'll always be hotels, but
More kind.
yeah, I mean, will we go back to the days of, well, I'm going to go to this place because I want to go and see this person or that person. While I'm there, I'm sure they'll introduce me to the things in that place. It's really interesting to muse over these things. There's no fixed answer, obviously, and no right or wrong, or just curious as we walk past a hotel what might become of them in this really quite this world which is emerging, and it's like financial crisis and prospect of a third world war, and like what's to become of hotels, who knows. Now those were very, very difficult to see on the camera there, but these are ruins from. So what happened here was there was a queen, a very young queen, who was, I don't know what the story was exactly, but she came to live here on this island. She was given a palace on this island. And she was very young, she was like 18 or 17, and she died very young. This is the ruins of that.
We need to investigate that. What's her name? Is that the name of the island? Margit.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
People are walking there, so maybe we can venture in.
Well, it'll be a bit dark to go wandering around in there now.
Maybe I'll just peek through here. some walls, what looked like some building. Right. We're going home now because it's cold.